Continuing tonight's team coverage, we're talking to family members of one of the passengers on that same flight from the Bay Area tonight. Bay News 9's Anna Tadaris found out what life is like now for Clay Yarber's daughter.
It's been 1 week since Nicole Yarber lost her father in that deadly New York crash. Continental Airlines flew her up to see the crash site, something you're about to hear her describe as a difficult process, but she says it actually helped her bring closure.
It was overwhelming. I mean, I've never seen a crash site, but let alone one that my father was involved in.
This is Nicole Yarber's father, Clay. He was one of 50 people who died when Flight 3407 crashed near Buffalo.
On the crash site, it was mostly silence, crying. There was a lot of crying, hugging. It was a lot to take in, seeing that. It looks a lot different in person than it does on the television.
Clay Yarber lived in the Tampa Bay area for 25 years. He was a well-known musician who left behind 6 children. Nicole says going to the site is actually helping her say goodbye to her dad.
For me, it was seeing the actual site and getting the closure, because up until then, I didn't believe it.
At the crash scene, hard to think about. Investigators found his suitcase and used his toothbrush to match DNA. Nicole talked about the crash with 2 Clearwater attorneys by her side today. However, attorney George Trago says no lawsuits have been filed.
I'm sure that as time goes on, we will find out the reason for it, and if there is negligence or something involved, we'll all know about it. But at this point, no one's thinking that way.
Nicole says still she has questions about the crash.
Obviously, I would like to know what happened, whether it was the aircraft, whether it was the conditions, whatever the case may be. I'd kind of like to know, just so that I know why this occurred.
While the investigation continues in Buffalo, she's back home, planning how her father will be remembered. At this point, the families have not received any type of settlements for this crash. However, they have received money to make up for their expenses for lost time at work. In the newsroom, Anna Tadaris, Bay News 9.
Yarber's body hasn't been released to his family just yet. He will be buried in Ohio because that's where he's originally from. A local memorial will be held in Largo for family and friends here Monday evening. Yarber wasn't in great health before the crash, and we're learning he ironically left this touching video saying goodbye to his son.
This is for my boy Christopher. Just want you to know I love you.
We're gathering more details about that video right now, and you'll definitely want to tune in tomorrow for your morning news when we'll have the full story ready for you.